All right, so you're probably wondering what this device is that I use while I'm working during the day. It's called a NanoVi, Nanovi. Now, for me to explain this to you, allow me to give you an illustration. You've probably scrambled an egg before. Now, when you have a whole egg and you crack it in the pan and you start to cook the egg, that scrambling process involves the unfolding of all those fragile proteins within the egg. Now, a lot of biological mechanisms, including what goes on in your own body, relies upon proper protein folding mechanisms, meaning that the configuration, the shape of a protein can be changed in the same way that an egg can be scrambled. You're altering the proteins in that egg. Well, ideally, for your body to function properly, proteins have to fold properly. Now, what the NanoVi does, and I'll show you how it works here in a moment, is it actually influences the water that surrounds all the proteins within the cells in your body. When you alter the structure of that water, it allows for the proteins to fold properly. When you allow for the proteins to fold properly, that's when you start to see things like increased performance, better recovery, an ability to fight inflammation, a little bit better focus during the day, better energy levels while you're at your computer or wherever else you might happen to have a device like this that you can literally breathe a water vapor that this thing produces that allows for the proteins to fold properly. So what I do when I'm working during the day is I set up my NanoVi and I press play. I'll simply have this positioned in a place kind of right underneath my mouth so that as I'm working on my computer, whether I bring this thing up to my table or whether I have it down on my standing workstation in my office, because it is pretty portable, I can actually be breathing water vapors that allow for proper protein folding mechanisms to occur. Now, I've interviewed the folks from NanoVi on my podcast. You can go listen to an interview with them, but they've actually got some really good placebo-controlled research that you can find published in PubMed about how this thing actually allows for proper protein folding mechanisms to occur. Now, what I like about it is actually extremely well designed. This is the NanoVi Exo model, and the way that they build this thing, I mean, I won't lie, I've dropped it on the floor in my office accidentally before, I've dropped it off tables before, and it still just gets put together and functions absolutely fabulously. So very, very well built. So what I do is I'll flip it on when I start work at the beginning of the day. I run it for about 20 minutes. I'll take a break, come back. When I get back to my computer, I'll run it again. And typically I'm doing 3 to 4 different sessions throughout the day.